is the question.
60-day period, I'm sorry, all the way back to when the CRA was passed. 30 years. Licenses, leases, executive actions that have had a decade or more of reliance could simply be brought forward, dumped into the Federal Register, sent over here as a submission, magically become a new rule because of this loophole we just built it. And then the majority of the Senate with a compliant House can just shove it right out the door without following regular order, without ever going to court, without following bicameralism and presentment, the constitutional requirements. I'll conclude with two things. First, please don't call this unprecedented when you're talking about GAO saying that this was not a rule. Please don't call it unprecedented when the parliamentarian said this was not a rule, this actually is illegal for you to do. The only thing unprecedented about what GAO said and what the parliamentarian said was the fact that this rule breaking by EPA, that's what was unprecedented. Again, 131 waiver determinations over half a century, always treated as waivers. Always. A score of 131 to 0. But the Trump administration, blacking for fossil fuel, decides that all of that is wrong, that this actually is a waiver, even though there was no APA rulemaking, even though none of the steps that lead to a regulation under the Congressional Review Act were undertaken. They just filed it in the Federal Register and sent it over as a submission. You could do anything that way. File it in the Federal Register, send it over as submission, and boom, it's over here to be kicked around as a political football, without due process, without bicameralism, without regular order, none of it. That is what was unprecedented.
We don't want regular order.
And the only reason that the GAO's decision was unprecedented because nobody had the nerve or the fool.
We do not want your regular fucking order. Your regular fucking order is out of fucking order. That's why everything is fucked up right now, because of you.
But because of the politics, that just got shoved through here. Because of the power of the fossil fuel industry, that just got shoved through here. This is part of a campaign of the Trump administration to pretend that climate change isn't real, to ignore the immediate threats that are looming over us of climate change.
Man, shut the fuck up, bitch. Trying to make us pay for fucking breathing.
Remember the president
the fucking climate change bullshit.
Everything you want to the fossil fuel executives. Well, he didn't get the full $1 billion, but he got a lot of money. He got north of $100 million. And now, sure enough, he's given him everything he wants. And this is one of those payments. This breaking of the Senate rules.
Man, shut the fuck up.
Parliamentarian, this going
Man,
nuclear,
shut the
this
fuck up.
pretending that something that was never a rule, and it's clearly not a rule by any reasonable reading of what APA rulemaking is suddenly now magically a rule.
Fuck.
All of that is being done as just a political errand for the fossil fuel industry, and it is wrong. I see the two senators from California here. The hour is getting later and later, so I will not review at this moment my presentation earlier today where I went through the multiple warnings of systemic economic collapse that is coming at us based on a fairly simple proposition, which is that climate risk is making weather and risk unpredictable. And when you can't predict weather risk, you can't predict the insurability of a piece of property.
This asshole is straight up telling us that they weather manipulating weather with the manipulating machine that they have. We know now that you have a weather manipulating machine. You lied to us and said that you didn't have a weather manipulating machine.
You can't predict it, you can't insure it. And we are right now in the United States in the middle of an insurance crisis. go ask around Florida how property insurance is going. It is a full-blown meltdown. And when you can't get insurance any longer, you can't get a mortgage on a property any longer. And when a property doesn't carry a mortgage any longer, when you can't get a mortgage on that piece of real estate, then your buyer pool collapses. You're left with only cash buyers. And what happens then is that the property value.
You see how they're trying to rob us with property value and all this other type of bullshit? They're the ones that raise the prices up and bring the prices down. They playing with us with our tax money. It's time to see that all these liars be fired.
Economic collapse, recession. And it's coming from all over. All over. And we won't listen to those warnings, whether they come from insurance CEOs, from Freddie Mac, from international banking safety reviews, from international economics magazines, from the chief risk officer.
Mostly all these people he's talking about, we the taxpayers and paid them off, dealing with him, his lying ass.
You could just go on and on. The warnings are piling up. And as Ernest Hemingway said about going broke, it happens gradually. And then all at once. And we're deep into gradually on this climate risk mess. And pretty soon we're going to get hit with all at once. And then all this foolishness done on this floor in the service of the fossil fuel industry, which has the world's biggest conflict of interest and a history of lying and of dark money political.
Get the fuck up.
My energy.
Oh, we some stupid fucking sheep. Allowing the elite assholes to treat us like we ain't shit. The truth, we ain't shit if you ain't standing up and speaking up for your fucking self. It's bullshit.
And on the same exact word.
We stupid. We like people to lie to us. But we continue allowing these assholes to lie to us and we still they do nothing. But go along and get along.
Fast asleep, House Republicans rammed through their so-called big, beautiful bill through the House of Representatives in the dead of night, in the hopes that nobody would notice. House Republicans took a bill that was
Fuck you, Chuck
already
Schumer.
rotten
You
to the
should be in
core
prison.
and made it even worse to appease the most radical faction of their party. It will bring deeper, harder, and even faster pain.
Shut the fuck up, Chuck Schumer. You should be in fucking prison. You shouldn't be talking to no fucking body.
It's truly jarring to watch the House Republicans cheer and pat each other on
Yo.
the back
That nobody would
while
notice.
bond markets spirals.
Republicans took a bill that was
Working
already
families are left to worry about how they'll make ends meet. So this morning, let's take a look at a few ways.
You are a professional liar who should be fired.
As it has reached final passage. We will surely learn more in the coming days, but let me share a few changes Republicans made that Americans deserve to hear. First, this bill was already the largest cut in Medicaid in American history, but now these cuts have been brushed forward and will happen as soon as next year. Moving up the timeline now means that hospitals, particularly rural hospitals, have even less time to prepare and increases the chance that they will close and that hundreds in each county will lose their jobs. Up to 14 million Americans are in danger of losing their health insurance. This bill will shut down rural hospitals, community health centers, urgent care clinics, and more. But while hospital beds are closing, Republicans are prioritizing a repeal on tanning bed taxes. And of course, at the last minute, the anti-choice radicals snuck in a new provision.
Man, shut the fuck up, Chuck. You're a fucking professional fucking liar. Nothing in your motherfucking come out your motherfucking mouth is the truth. Nothing. Nothing at all. Everything that comes out your mouth is horse shit. Your name
You're
should be
shrieking.
your name
Are you on Ozempic?
your name shouldn't be
No
Chuck
needles.
Schumer. Your name should be Chuck Shitter.
Ambush over and over again. CNN, MSNBC, NBC. Is it likely that they were handed the same script?
For the dramatic scene in the Oval Office today, the tense confrontation, President Trump ambushing the president of South Africa.
Next, another Oval Office meltdown. President Trump ambushing the president of South Africa.
President Trump is being accused of conducting.
No, I could ambush him.
South Africa's president in the Oval Office.
To be with you, I'm Katie Tur. President Trump orchestrated another Oval Office ambush today. Today, Donald Trump meeting with the president of South Africa and attempting to ambush and humiliate.
How in the fuck could he ambush the president when the president should have known that shit already? So it wasn't no fucking ambush. It's y'all assholes that talk about a fucking ambush.
This was an ambush.
Programming fake fucking news. Talk about ambush.
Diplomatic South-based meeting, but nothing could have prepared him for this multimedia ambush.
What started as, to some degree, an ambush.
Well, Katie, I mean, it wasn't ambush.
Ambush.
Ambush. Ambush.
Ambush. Ambushing.
Ambush and ambush.
I said, we know what fake news. The fake news. I said, Donald Trump.
The weird part is you're used to, like you said,
Donald Trump revealed fake news because every fucking news station that said that it was an ambush is fake fucking news. Now you know what fake news really is.
they were mad because he literally brought the truth. Like,
Yep.
right to the front
Yep.
porch.
Yep.
Get this.
Yep.
They asked Trump the question.
Yep.
Ramaphosa decided to answer it for him.
Yep.
And he said that, hey, basically implied that
It wasn't happening.
there's
It wasn't happening.
genocide
Right.
happening.
Right.
Trump decided
Right.
to just play
Play
the
it.
footage.
See?
Come on, man. Now you see how they try to do this full-blown
The facts.
thinkage type deal.
Over
They
fiction.
keep saying ambush. But what they
Over
really
fiction.
mean is Trump didn't play that game.
The facts was Trump showed
Y'all remember Trump
video.
Ramaphosa, but this is him confronting him.
Trump
right
showed the
this.
facts.
This is a clip, a section that we didn't get to.
But the president was saying that the facts wasn't happening. They wasn't having no white genocide.
Which is allowed to exist in terms of our constitution. When you do allow them to take land. No. You do allow them to take land. Nobody can do when they take the land, they kill the white farmer. And when they kill the white farmer, nothing happens to them. No. Nothing happens. There is criminality in our country. People who do get killed, unfortunately through criminal activity, are not only white people. Majority of them are black people. And we have now been utilized. The farmers are not black. We have not seen that scooter man, but the farmers are not black. And the people that are being killed in large numbers, and you saw all those grave sites, and those are people that loved ones going, I guess on a Sunday morning, they told me, to pay respect to their loved ones that were killed. Their heads chopped off. They died violently. And we're here to talk about it, and I think we get involved here. But I will say this, that if the news wasn't fake, like NBC, which is fake news, literally one of the worst, ABC, NBC, CBS, horrible. But if they weren't fake news like this jerk that we have here, if we had real reporters, they'd be covering it. But the fake news in this country doesn't talk about that. They don't want to talk about it, but now they have to talk about it. But they won't. This won't even be a subject. They'll have him talking about why did a country give a free think of this. Why did a country give an airplane to the United States?
I can
Air
airplane.
Force?
What?
Okay, the United States, not to me, to the United States Air Force.
Stop.
Okay. Oh man. First of all, you see, Trump didn't sugarcoat it. He didn't try to wheel him in all nicely and smooth. And this is what these fragile Americans want. We want to be coddled. They want to, oh, you want to talk like, no. And he didn't even talk to him recklessly.
Y'all like
He just didn't sugarcoat it. He said, yo, you let them take land, and when they kill the white farmer, nothing happens. And you see Ramaphosa, he tried to pivot. He tried to, said some, talking about how crime affects everybody, but Trump still stood firm and pretty much said, hey, it ain't about the stats, it's about the selective outrage we see. Okay? We see people are being targeted, and everybody stands silent.
all believers are like a bunch of children.
That's the
You stuck
problem.
on stupid believing in some nonsense.
And
When the truth is you shouldn't be believing in shit.
saying this is all made up. Like, come on, man. Like, Trump brought the receipts.
But we are starting with this whiteness. You are cutting the throat of whiteness in Ghana.
The truth is what it is. Either you know or you don't know. Because if you don't know, you ask questions. You don't believe shit. You ask questions to know shit, not to believe shit.
If you're just looking at the footage, I mean,
Believers don't ask questions.
some receipts, okay?
You ask questions.
In the video, Julius Melma.
You ask questions to know some shit, not to believe some shit.
Kill the farmer, and
You ask questions to know some shit, not understand some shit.
South African administration, boy,
You ask questions to know some shit, not have faith in some shit. You ask questions to know some shit, not to hope for some shit.
But, I mean, you don't avoid the truth unless you're somehow ashamed. And I think Trump flipped the script this time. They want the ones that, they want the ones sit back watching. For who had to watch, rather. Hopefully I get what I was going with that. All right. Now I want y'all to see this clip that's been going viral on TikTok. It's some real talk, man. It's somebody who actually gets it, okay? Y'all peep this.
It's funny because a lot of y'all keep asking, are you still happy with your vote? You voted for Trump. Are you still happy? Well, if you look at what happened today in the White House, unequivocally, yes. So the South African president was sat down with the president of the United States, Donald Trump, and they were talking about trade and all that. And Donald Trump was like, y'all got to stop this genocide that's happening to white folk in South Africa, which is happening.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy tries to deny it. They try to say that that's not happening. And then Trump pulls out a TV and shows him his own government calling for the extermination of white folk. That is a boss move if I've ever seen one. So, yes, this is exactly what we voted for. We want fairness for everybody. It's not right that white people are being attacked in South Africa. Two wrongs don't make a right.
Mm-hmm.
You can't make up for evil with more evil. And I'm proud to say I voted for this man 3 times.
The truth makes sense for true change. Because once you go back to using common sense, shit will change. Literally. Literally.
That's move.
Because the make-believe nonsense.
Perfect. And also, like I said, that we want fairness for everybody because you can't fix evil with evil, I think he said. And that's straight facts. You can't fight
Because the make-believe nonsense stops you from using common sense. The common sense that you're born with. The truth.
This is not how this works, okay? But the media continues to ignore genocide, and they want to focus on the airplane.
Trump calling out the South African president in real time in front of the media is exactly why we put him in office. And what's really disturbing is the fact that NBC sat there, listened to everything, watched the video, and was like, hey, what about the airplane, though?
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean, what about the airplane? Like, your guy's the one who negotiated for the airplane.
Nah.
We're just taking delivery of it.
Thank
You
you.
didn't have a problem with it then.
No.
Media, it's unfortunate because media is so far gone. the only people still listening to it are my grandparents. You know what I mean? And it's sad because inevitably this app will probably go by the wayside. It's already getting nerfed left and right. It's definitely not what it was. But good God, man, like have a pair to talk about the elephant in the room. Like the South African government is outright calling for the almost the extinction and the slaughter of a race of people just because of the color of their skin. And you want to worry about an airplane?
You believers can't handle the truth. You believers like being lied to.
NBC literally sat there through all that tension. They watched the footage. They seen the evidence, the history. And when all it was over, hey, Mr. President, what about the airplane? The Chevy is called the heartbeat of America. It's like the people who keep this country moving. For them, only America.
Now that shit, shut up.
You can't make this up. I'm trying to. You can't make this type of stuff up. He just showed you clips of their leaders calling for death, and you want to talk about a luxury jet, bro? This is the place nowhere that we've come to. Man, legacy media is so out of touch. Get out of touch. They out of their minds, bro. Y'all think I'm playing? Watch them sit here trying to defend it. CNN anchor explains the chant, "Kill the board," as symbolic. There they go. Trying to play cleanup, y'all.
Explaining that this is not true. What the videos show is Julius Malema, the far left opposition leader of South Africa. His party is called the Economic Freedom Fighters, and it also showed former President Jacob Zuma. What Julius Malema was singing, "Kill the board, kill the farmer," was an anti-apartheid song from the struggle against white minority rule in South Africa. They've explained that this is not a literal attack, call to attack and kill the farmer because of the historical nature of that, but it's been weaponized by groups in South Africa and increasingly by the MAGA right in the United States to essentially misrepresent what is going on in the country, Boris, Brianna.
It also of note, Larry, can you
Explain.
Man, this is just BS. Now, I won't say act like I know all the history of South Africa and everything. I don't know. But that was just the. You say
Believers.
The boy is symbolic. I think he said it's a part of the anti-apartheid struggle. But let's just be real. Let's just be real transparent for a second, okay? Let's just put it on the even playing field. If anybody else says something that extreme, that wouldn't be a symbolic pass to get it. Ain't nobody going, there'll be literal riots. Press conferences. But because it's targeted whites, South Africans, it's poetry.
The truth is, that's what the Americans afraid that we would do to them.
If it was us, it's genocide.
They're afraid that black
If
people
it's
will
them,
rise
it's
up
poetry.
and put them bitches in slavery.
That's not how it works, man. We're going to call it for what it is. That's not how it works. We're going to read a few of these comments, though. What an absolute clown show. CNN is a failed media hub for the loony left. James Earl Jones used to speak the name strongly. Now it's Dylan Mulvaney or some other poster child of the progressive left. And they're swilling voice saying this is CNN. White South Africans yelling victim as the majority of the country. What? That's quite literally impossible unless the minority hold control and power over the minority. What? They are delusional and definitely know it's happening while trying to claim we are misinterpreting their actual words. Fake news does nothing but lie and cover up criminal behavior. I don't understand, man. I honestly feel like the level of delusion on the left should be studied. Seriously, I mean, look at these words. Final words from
Somebody should be studied. Don't forget you was on that side one time
he
too.
did not hold back whatsoever. A CNN panelist tried to dismiss concerns that white African farmers
Just don't
in South
forget you was on
Africa
that
are
side too.
retarded. despite the footage.
I think the South African president initially came to the meeting, and you actually saw him try to extend some olive branches. He tried to direct the conversation to trade, to critical minerals. He brought golfers that he knew the president would listen to, if not.
You have to remember that you were stuck on stupid at one time too.
And then when a reporter did ask about these false claims of white genocide,
you were just like a lot of these Democrats, because you was a Democrat at one time too.
That President Trump then dismissed. You saw him basically say, and that the data backs this up. Police statistics in South Africa do show that on the subject of killings, there are not mass killings of white South Africans in South Africa. There have been gruesome killings of white farmers, individual cases of that. But it's
I'm saying, we just watched the video. I just seen the video. Trump played a video of at least 1,000 or around 1,000. I can hundreds
That nigga flat top got his teeth.
of dead people, family members, or farmers of the farm. I mean, farmers or family members of.
That nigga flat top got his hand.
This lighter is completely waterproof, windproof, and can start a fire in a fraction of a
I
second.
ain't asked you all that there. I don't hear about no motherfucking lighter. I want to hear about the rest of this shit here.
systemic. The police data shows right now that white South Africans are not killed at a higher rate than any other South African. There is a broad crime problem in South Africa that is very different than a claim of genocide.
Boy, your flat top is too fucking tight for your brain. So it's flattening your brain out like a pancake.
Government made it
You
very,
can't
very
think.
difficult, almost impossible for black people to own farmland. So now you've seen this law passed
You can't
earlier
think.
this year by the South African government that yes,
For yourself.
would
For yourself.
take land, but it's subject to judicial review as well. And it has to be in the public interest. So there's a lengthy process. It's not just like you're confiscating land as well. That nuance also has not been articulated by President Trump here. So you have these two issues, these two false claims, and this meeting, in a way, was the culmination of, for years now, these lobbyists of these Afrikaner groups have been traveling to Washington, talking to Republicans, also talking to this White House. This White House that has given them time, actually told us in the piece, described them as civil rights leaders as well. And you're seeing the culmination of that lobbying campaign and the amplifying of these false descriptions of the reality on the ground in this country.
Okay, y'all. He was able to get what he needed to say out. He broke the screen for a little while. But watch. Listen to what Scott Jennings had to say. He did not hold back.
It's not.
Well, look, whether you call it a genocide or not, the facts are white farmers in South Africa have been murdered. A lot of people have tried to cover this up. A lot of people in, I think, media in the United States have tried to cover it up. Obviously, the South African government doesn't want to talk about it, so it was kind of a boss move for Donald Trump to roll that television in there today. And I think even the agriculture minister in the Oval Office confirmed that these people are, in fact, being murdered. So my question is, if it's not a genocide today, how many do you want to let get murdered so that people around here can be satisfied? Okay, now it's a genocide. Let's let a few more. I don't understand. We're talking about 50-something people they were trying to let in. Everybody was losing their mind after we let in 20 million illegal immigrants over the last several years. The president is trying to prevent genocide from happening any further to these people. They are clearly being discriminated against. Some have been murdered. This was an interesting spectacle in the Oval Office today, but it had to happen because I don't think anybody was telling the truth about it.
It had to happen. It had to happen. It had to happen. What the fuck you talking about amen to that? You always saying amen to shit. You still stuck on stupid with that same bullshit that you was in already. Y'all niggas got these big old fucking channels with all these people watching and y'all steady talking stupid fucking shit still.
Like this, you know, Andre saying enough. Why isn't the line moving?
Amen to that. Fuck up. Amen. Bullshit.
No. Why is the finish line, or no, I guess I'm saying it right. Why is the line always moving when it comes to white people? Trump called it out. They didn't like it.
Why do the line always move when you're not using common sense? That's the reason why the line always moving. Because when you use, that's the reason why the line is always moving. Because if you're using common sense,
thank y'all.
The line stays neutral one way all day, every day. Period.
Peace.
Attention all seniors, you can now get up to $50,000 for your funeral and other final expenses, including your credit card.